Okay, do video on the birth of rock and roll and record label companies. Okay, before Chuck Berry there was this black woman, I forgot her name, but she was a real rocker way before Chuck Berry. I'll mention her name sometime when I remember it. I'll find it on the internet. Okay, these guys, I think it was down south where rockabilly was invented, kind of gave birth off to also from country. Some of that country can be rockin' too. Putting nails in my coffin every time I grab that bottle of booze, you know. Anyways, that rock and roll was called rockabilly. Rock and roll rockabilly. And you know, they had their hairs, you know, slicked back and combed back and all that, pompadours and flat tops. Now the big record company labels, they did not think that this new music would sell. All right, these guys, they were into making money. It's always that way, these business guys, okay, business suits. And others. And the hip dudes with the scarves and all around, and their open button-up shirts and their scarves, you know. Alright, let me give you an example of record labels small record label companies that started and supported rockabilly. Okay, here's an album. It's Pony Time by none other than Chubby Checker. Now, record company is Parkway, which is no longer around. Give you some visual examples here. Buddy Holly's first album, Coral Records. Now these are all rockers you must buy, you know, if you're into rock and roll. You got to get into this music. Regency, Little Richard. Known to be crazy rock and roll back in the day. Tutti Frutti, good golly, Miss Molly, you know. Some heavy rockin' stuff back in the day. Long Tall Sally. The Beatles covered that stuff. The Beatles covered a lot of other people's songs in the early days. REO Records. These are all small record label companies that supported rock and roll rockabilly bands. signed up the Kingsmen. Now you all should know Louie Louie. Even Motorhead covered it. Remember? Louie Louie, oh baby, we gotta go. There goes my friggin' alarm again. My cooking alarm. It's so sensitive. Every time I cook it goes off. I fucking hate it. Imperial Records. Fats Domino they signed up to. Now Birchmount, they've been around for a while. They're gone now, but they've been around for some decades. Up until like the early 80s, I think, is the last time I ever seen a Birchmount record available. The old Decca records. Now the irony with Decca records is back in '63, the Beatles met the Decca record company executives. And the Beatles were hoping for Decca to sign them up. And the Decca record company executives said rock and roll is on its way out. They didn't sign them. Biggest mistake they ever done, Decca Records. But ironically, Decca Records was a big label company which actually signed up some rockabilly bands like Bill Haley. Great rocker, man. Look at that. Rock around the clock tonight. Rock, rock, rock to the broad daylight. Yeah, so these little record companies sprout out. So punk rock in the mid-70s, early 70s, mid-70s, and so on, kind of did the same thing. These big record company labels, what is this garbage, right? Just as they said about this music, it's garbage. Chuck Berry, it's garbage. Carl Perkins, it's garbage. It'll never sell. Same with punk rock. So what was punk rock? DIY, do it yourself. So basically almost the same lines as well, the rockabilly bands back in the day, kind of a thing. That's where it kind of, the influence started from. Now, we got Chess Records. Okay, Chess Records. Now they've been defiant. I'll tell you why. These motherfucking big label record companies, okay, you know, they, all of a sudden, you know, these bands were getting big, and all of a sudden they thought, you know what, this rock and roll really sells. We're missing out on the money. You know what they started doing? They started buying out all the little record companies. That's what they do. It's called conglomeratization. Okay? It's what they do. Capitalism is not what you think. Like so, a lot of people say, oh, capitalism is positive. Capitalism sucks. Fascism sucks. Communism, socialism sucks. It all sucks, okay? It's all evil constructs. We don't need that garbage, okay? What is capitalism? Capitalism, capitalizing on another person's labor. Alright? Capitalize. You know, you're above. Right? Capitalize. You're the worker bee. You're doing thing. This guy, you know, he's reaping the benefits of your labor. He's getting the $100,000 here and there. And you're making what? 15 bucks, 17 bucks an hour? Working your fanny off? Okay, like I said, Chess Records was defiant. They didn't fucking sell out to the big companies. They didn't want to. Okay, that's Chuck Berry. Right here. Great rocker. He rocked on. Even the 70s albums, he was still rocking. I seen a show on him. It was like early 80s or something. And, yeah, he was into Cadillacs. So he had 3 of them, eh? And back in the days, everybody thought that even in the 1970s Cadillacs would be worth something. But they're only worth like $5,000 to $8,000. They could be higher now. But, you know. Sun Records. Memphis, Tennessee. The owner is Sam Phillips. Okay? Who signed up the likes like Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash. This is how the Sun Records look like. It's a cool looking record label, eh? Look at that. Now Sam Phillips was defiant too. To the major record companies. That shit will never sell. 3 years down the road, 2-3 years down the road, hey, that stuff is selling, we're losing out. Let's cut into the market. We're big boys. We're the bigger sharks. We eat the little fish. Let's buy out all these other companies. All the companies, they got bent down and sold out, except for Sun Records and Chess Records. Chess went, I don't know what happened to Chess Records, if the guy retired, closed down, or got bought out. But that was, they were defiant for quite a while. Sun Records, I don't know, still around. I think they're still around. Yeah, they were really defiant. Sam Phillips was really defiant of these, you know, sharks, right? So that's the story of rock and roll. It was garbage. That stuff will never sell, said the big shots and the suits and ties and the cigars. Okay? That stuff will never sell. Alright? We want to push Dean Martin and stuff. This stuff will never sell. This rock and roll, that's crazy music. You know? So, this is what corporations do. This is what the bigger corporations do. The big fish eat the little fish. Alright? If you start your own business and you start getting big, these bigger corporations are going to start taking interest in your business. They're going to ask you, hey, you want to join our club? We got these special men's club. We got these clubs you can join, you know, and then we got these secret clubs you can join. All the rich people gather around and pat themselves on the back like this. You know, we're special. We're very important. You know, we're people in the bottom. They're bottom feeders, right? You know, we're very important. We're rich. We're multimillionaires. We're billionaires. No, that's what they think about you people. All you young people, you better realize that. You know, they don't care about you. You know, they'll kick a man when they're down. You can be a good worker, be in work, and then 40 hours a week, and the guy's nice enough, he'll give you a raise. But hey, if you got a medical condition or develop a medical condition and you can't work 5 days a week, no more, you know, well, we ain't going to give you a raise because you're not a full-time worker. Well, have some compassion. Have some frigging compassion. They don't have no compassion. Corporations has no morals. Politics has no morals. So that's the story of rock and roll. What's shit's gonna sell? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it started selling. People got into it. You know, where there's a profit to be made, these MFs, they get involved some way or another. By cheating, stealing, or whatever, offering you money to buy out, maybe they'll buy out your company. You know? And if you're defiant, somehow, they might try to find ways to sabotage you. They're evil. So, there's your wake-up call about these record companies. Take care.